Here, we are going to take a look at an interesting problem from an ancient Indian mathematical text called Lilavati, written by one of the greatest Indian mathematicians, Bhaskaracharya, who lived in the 13th century AD. The problem goes somewhat like this, that in a forest there is a tree, and on that tree there are two monkeys. Here they are, and both of them spot some fruit on the ground. So this is the bunch of fruit they see, and both of them decide to, of course, go there and enjoy it, but they take two different paths. The first monkey descends down the tree at a uniform rate, and at the same speed walks on the ground and reaches the fruit, while the other one goes up the tree, and then from that point it descends in a straight line at the same speed as the other monkey and reaches the fruit. How he does it? Well, there could be a vine or something that is hanging from the tip of this tree up to the fruit, and coincidentally both these monkeys reach the fruit at the same time. So one goes up, one descends down, but both are doing it at the same uniform rate and reach the fruit at the same time. Now the question is, what is the distance that the other monkey climbs to the top? There are some dimensions given to us. Let us take a look at them. So here is the problem. The monkeys are right now at the height of 100 units, and they have to walk on the ground about 50 units. And the distance from the monkey's position to the tip of the tree, from where the vine would take the second monkey to the fruit, is x, and that is to be found. So let's get rid of some of the extraneous geometry and just boil it down to this essential ingredients. Let's now try to solve this problem using algebra first. Since both monkeys are traveling at the same speed and arrive at the fruit at the same time, starting from the same point, of course, their paths, one shown in blue here and one in red, must be of equal length. For ease, let us label these points something. Say T is the top, M is the monkey position, B is the bottom of the tree, and F is the position of fruit. And then I'm going to write the expression for the right angle triangle, and the equation would be BM plus MT, this whole side squared, plus BF, the base squared, is going to be equal to the hypotenuse square. But the hypotenuse is going to be this total length of this blue path minus this x. So 150 minus x square. Let us substitute the values. This BM is given to be 100 units, BF is given to be 50 units, and the total path length is 150. We can expand these expressions and then cancel this x square. So instead of a quadratic, now we have a simple linear equation, which can be further simplified, and a solution x equal to 20 can be arrived at. But this is just an algebraic solution. This beautiful problem with such a strong geometric flavor should also be solved geometrically. I couldn't resist the temptation. So let us try some alternate solutions. So here is a problem represented geometrically to half the scale to accommodate the construction that we need to do here. This red triangle is completely known. This is 100 units, 50 units, and this is a right angle triangle. The blue path shown in thick here is not known how it is laid out, but we know for sure that its length is going to be same as the red path. So 100 plus 50, 150 units. So we can take that path and lay it out straight. So let us place it like this, 150 units. Let P be the end of that line, and then you'll realize this distance MTP and MTF are equal simply by the construction we did, and therefore the segment TP and TF will be of equal length. That is going to form a isosceles triangle PTF. And in an isosceles triangle, if we draw the perpendicular bisector of the base, it necessarily passes through the vertex, and that is the one we are looking for, the point T. So the solution of this problem is, from M, just construct the path length 150, join the end of that line to the fruit point, and perpendicular bisector of that line will pass through the top of the tree. So then we can find the distance MT as required. Just for completeness, let us measure and confirm that it is indeed 20 units. There is one more interesting twist we can give to this problem. So instead of those monkeys arriving at the same time, let's make it a competition. Let's see how the second monkey can make it to the fruit quicker. For this discussion, let us connect these 2 points M and F, and the distance MBF is known to be 150. The distance MTF will also be 150. So now it looks like there are 2 points M and F which remain fixed, but from those points, if we measure the sum of distances to this point, say T, or to this point B, that is remaining constant. So it is almost like having 2 fixed pins M and F, to which a string of length 150 is tied, and then with a pencil we are tracing a curve. B happens to be one point on it, T happens to be another point on it, and what could be that curve? That is nothing but a ellipse with M and F as the foci. Let us see how to get that ellipse. For that, I am going to plot this circle of diameter 150, the length of the path, with the midpoint of MF as the center. Then I am going to copy that circle, okay, so that the center becomes F. Then I am going to draw a perpendicular bisector of MF wherever it intersects this circle. So let us trim that up to that point. Then I'm going to extend this line MF, which will be our part of our major axis now up to this point. So we have a point on the major axis of the ellipse, we have a point on the minor axis of the ellipse, and we have the center of the ellipse. So the ellipse can be quickly plotted. Let's get rid of these construction circles. So the monkey should start from M, reach any point within this ellipse, inside this ellipse, and then from that point it can take the detour. It will reach there quicker. But this ellipse is a limiting condition. So if the monkey travels to any point on this ellipse and from there it comes here, it is going to arrive at the same moment.